It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
This is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, $5.75 million sale, Digicel buys out Sky Pacific. Fiji marks first anniversary of democratic elections, and public consultations on income tax bill commences. Mobile communications company Digicel has bought Sky Pacific after months of negotiations. The pay TV service is now a separate entity from previous owners Fiji Television. Edwin Nunn reports.
The $5.7 million handshake that has sealed the deal.
Today we have officially signed the agreement to hand over to Digicel within the next few weeks or so. So the agreement was signed today.
This transaction with Fiji Television Limited moves us another important step closer to Digicel achieving its vision of being a total communications and entertainment provider in this region.
The sale has been the subject of months of discussion, but Sky Pacific now belongs to Digicel, while Fiji TV concentrates on its free-to-air channel, Fiji One.
We are working for around last 3 months, and for last 6 days is basically a non-stop negotiation and large number of versions of the agreement before we came to the conclusion this afternoon.
Digicel Fiji expects to bring in new channels in due time. There are no disruptions in services expected, nor any hike in subscription fees.
We have content agreements and content that's being used on our television networks in PNG and elsewhere in the Pacific. So there is a significant opportunity for us to get some synergies and improvements there. We wouldn't be buying the business in this way if we didn't think we could make some improvements to both the content, the quality.
Fiji TV will continue to provide backup services to Digicel for up to 2 years, while the new owner sets up its own facilities. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
A tsunami advisory and watch is in effect for residents living along the coastal areas. The advisory was issued in the wake of 8.3 magnitude earthquake that hit Chile early this afternoon. The seismology section at the Mineral Resources Department says, based on all available data, a major tsunami is not expected to strike Fiji. However, sea level changes and strong currents may occur along all coasts that could be a hazard to swimmers and boaters, as well as to persons near the shore around midnight. The department will provide more updates in case of any further developments. The Fijians Elections Office today commemorated the first anniversary of the general elections. The elections were conducted for the first time under a common voter roll and held over 1 day. Savara Tambor has the details.
On this day last year, Fijians voted to elect a new 50-member parliament. It was a historic event for all Fijians as elections were being held after a lapse of 8 years.
The year has flown by exceptionally fast, and it's been a challenging year but exciting, and I think we've done very well. We are on track and we are delivering.
We have progressed in terms of what participating in terms of the debate in Parliament.
Today was a day of celebration for the Fijian Elections Office. The President, Ratuepeli Nalatikau, members of the Diplomatic Corps and government attended the anniversary.
In most countries who have elections, the day of the last election does not carry much significance. However, for Fiji and the FAO, this day will be a memorable one, and we thought to invite His Excellency and all our friends of the FAO to commemorate this event with us.
I believe, and many believe, that we appointed the right man to lead this office. And he recruited the right people who dedicated their work. And that was the result of a successful election.
French Ambassador Michael Djokovic also acknowledged the work of the Elections Office.
Very pleased to be here with the office of the Fijian election office, together with the President of the Republic here, to acknowledge the very good work the office has done.
1 year ago, Fijians went to the polls to elect a government under new electoral rules. Unlike previous elections, polling took place in one day. At the end, the 2014 general elections went down in history as one of the easiest and most efficient in as far as electoral processes are concerned. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights today began public consultations on the income tax bill. Some of the new features of the bill include intangible assets tax, which cover copyright. Maggie Boyle with the story.
The new income tax bill is literally half the size of the original bill, which was first drawn up in 1974. The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority Chief Executive Chitoko Tikulevu says they want to ensure legislation complies with international standards.
Making sure that these cross-border transactions, because sometimes for us to tax the non-resident business income. So we're hoping this attributable of bonus to be advantage to Fiji, because otherwise big economies they won't listen to Fiji. So we want to have a fair share.
Committee Chair Ashnil Sudhakar says a priority is to ensure the public gets a say on the new bill.
Because income tax legislation is a piece of law that basically touches everybody, every individual. So we decided to move around. We'll have a Western tour. Week after Parliament, we'll be visiting the West, and we will also be visiting the North, starting all the way from Nambualu, all the around up to Lambasa and Savusavu.
He adds they're open to other options if people are unable to make it to their consultations.
If you are not able to have a formal submission ready, you can always send us emails, text messages, and any way you want to contribute to the formulation of the Act, we are happy to adapt to your ideas.
The committee is expected to wrap up public consultations on the income tax bill before the announcement of the budget on November 6th. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, mom wins ticket to visit and witness shooting of soap opera Bold and Beautiful.
FM nambundu en sirre na ngona nindre remanda ke central rental sapo ke na rosuno ko vitre minichi me va na koloko ni sabola
oya wa wati soni dalai
gonga e mozindon
na ma ke raw mena tolu kene bitu ena via kabi moliti kene ko rombuka
goria na lali ne kabi bula FM nambandua en sirre
Agriculture is the way to go. As economic growth hits new heights, one sector that continues to be ignored is agriculture. Ritika Pratap reports the sector provides sustained growth opportunities.
Economic experts believe more emphasis needs to be placed on the agriculture sector for Fiji to sustain its positive economic growth.
Now, in the case of potentials, Fiji has forest resources, Fiji has fertile soil, Fiji has land, Fiji has a sea, Fiji has gold, and therefore Fiji has many resources.
Look at the agriculture sector seriously, because we have huge natural resources and huge potential to convert from subsistence agriculture to cash crop commercialized agriculture sectors through some kind of joint ventures with corporate sectors. We have huge tourism sectors.
The academics believe the government's focus on infrastructure development and investment in the education sector needs to be maintained.
Recently, government has introduced free education. Government has modernized the road network, and therefore Fiji is going well, I think. And now, what we can do? I think Fiji has to recognize its challenge, the potentials of growth and challenges of growth.
That momentum has to be maintained. And so at least if we maintain these two things, and somehow we can handle the oil price rise that is going to happen in future, I think we will be able to maintain 3 to 4% growth rate.
The Fijian economy grew by 5.3% in 2014. The contribution by the agriculture sector was down 2.4% because of falling production of taro, yam and coconuts. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
A 41-year-old mother of 6 from Suva has won an opportunity to visit the set of TV soap opera Bold and the Beautiful in Hollywood. Merione Ngonelevu's mobile number was picked from the hundreds that participated and the 40 finalists. Eleanor Rangaivu has the details.
Over the moon.
I feel like I'm dreaming and I've yet to wake up, but very excited, of course. Yeah.
Ngonelevu's 13-year-old daughter used her phone to enter the competition, organized by Fiji Broadcasting Corporation.
I was on maternity leave, and I think she would call me whenever the show started. But I didn't know that she had my phone at that time, the competition was on. And she told me later, "Oh, Mom, by the way, I text your number in." I said, "Oh, okay, what prize are you winning?" She said, "Something about a trip to Hollywood. But make sure when you win, you take me."
Depending on the visa application process with her 13-year-old daughter, thanks to Fiji Airways. FBC Chief Executive Riaz Said Qayyum says when FBC TV started in 2011, they wanted to introduce daytime entertainment for people who are at home because there was nothing previously.
All the entertainment by previous television stations were concentrated at night, and we knew there was a market for it, there was a demand for it, and people would enjoy daytime soap, and that is the reason why we introduced Yahame Gargar Kheli and Pavitra Rishta and The Bold and Beautiful.
Ngonelevu will also receive day passes to the world-famous Disneyland theme park, spend 5 days in sunny California, and will be given $1,000.
Organisers of the Sugar Festival are keeping their fingers crossed and hoping that the carnival, which begins on Saturday, will generate a lot of interest in Lautoka. They admit last year's event was a flop because it was held during the busy period of the general elections. Madhyam Bolaitamana has more on this story.
2 days away from the opening, and stall holders have been busy putting last-minute touches to their stalls.
We have 7 contestants, and we have tens and the others too, but the main contestants we have 7. Well, looking at the response from big ones, I think it's not very good, compared to previous, but the small to medium ones, they are the ones who are really supporting us right now.
Last year's carnival recorded a loss as it was on the same week as the 2014 general elections, but President Bijendra Chand and his committee members are optimistic that this year will generate a lot of income.
To raise funds for the needy and poor who are in desperate need for medical treatment, bent house and others. We are the only one that can provide fund instant on demand. They bring in their medical certificate and other documents, which is in order, and then we just approve the same day. That's how fast we are.
The Sugar Festival will be officially opened at Churchill Park in Lautoka on Saturday. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
Now Jamie joins us with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, we take a look at the Flying Fijian side named for its first Rugby World Cup pool match, and Suva to face a tough battle at this year's IDC. This and more after the break.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ। ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना।
John McKee has named the Vodafone Flying Fijian side to take on England in the first match of the Rugby World Cup. McKee has gone for experience, naming a bunch of players from the 2011 World Cup in the forwards pack Nicola Matawalu gets the nod ahead of Nemia Kenatale at halfback. Ben Volavola starts at fly half, while Gabi Lolombolavo and Vereniki Ngoneva make up the centres. Now, the inclusion of scrum half Nicola Matawalu in the starting 15 gives some indication of the pace at which the Flying Fijians will like to move from the base of scrums and rucks. As mentioned by John McKee, Matawalu will play a key role for Fiji. Indra Singh was at the team announcement in London last night and filed this report.
Reports and update of the Rugby World Cup was proudly presented by Vodafone, Power to You, and Airports Fiji Limited, creating new experiences, Fiji's gateway to the world, in association with FMF, The Right Choice, Total, You Know Where to Turn, and Sun Insurance, for Fijians, by Fijians, supported by Fiji Airways, Dulux, Island Chill, Comfort Home Furnishing, and Central Rental.
Having missed the 2011 World Cup due to politics, Nicola Matawalu has cemented himself as the starting halfback against England.
For our preparation and pre-tournament games, Nicola has proved himself to be our best halfback.
He will be the key man for Fiji to combine with Ben Volavola in the halves to try and unlock the English defence.
Halfback's a critical position to your team game plan, and Nicola provides good service for our back line, but also can be a dangerous player if he gets an opportunity.
A bulk of players named in the side are survivors from 2011 and some even from the 2007 side, making life easier for the skipper.
The experience will help me a lot in decision making in the field, and it will help the team too as well in pushing the team forward.
Attention from the world and questions from the world media on what it will take for Fiji to bring down the hosts dominated today's team announcement.
Test match rugby and the intensity that will be played at, it's an 80-minute game. It won't be 1 in 40 minutes or 60 minutes or 70 minutes.
It's now only 2 days out from the game, and tomorrow being the captain's run, the build-up and hype will come to a standstill on Saturday as the players run on to Twickenham.
As soon as we cross that white line on Friday night, that's where the friendship ends, and we'll pick it up again after the game on Friday.
So the final training run by the coaches, and it's wet and cold here in London. Something totally different to what the team experienced when they first arrived into this city. One more training run to go, and that'll be the captain's run before the big game on Saturday morning. The team has been named, and now it's just counting down to that big battle. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
And as Indra mentioned, it was a wet and cold day in London as the Flying Fijians wrapped up training at their base camp. But this did not get the players down. With all eyes on the tournament opener, Lock Leone Nakarawa and flanker Domenico Wanganimburotu are both geared up and raring to go. Indra Singh has more.
The sudden change in the weather in London hasn't dampened the spirits of the Flying Fijians as the players gear up for the big battle.
Playing in front of a large crowd, it's really motivating, and it's a good experience for me and for the team too, to showcase our talents in front of the large crowd and in front of the world.
Nakarawa is renowned worldwide for his running game and says it will take a massive effort from the players to spoil England's party.
Everything the team wants is we just need a praise from Fiji, and we need their full support.
Joining him in the fray is a former skipper who also knows well they must swim against the tide.
We just need to stay focused on what we need to do against England this Friday.
It might be wet and cold, thousands of miles away from home, but the reps know the fans matter the most as a nation waits for the game.
This being named for the Saturday night, it's a big opportunity for me, and I'm honored to be part of this team once again.
Yeah, it's good to be part of this team, to be named in the first 15 against England.
On paper, Fiji might have a mighty team, but on the ground it will be a different story, especially with the majority of the 82,000 in the stands behind the home team.
our forward pack has improved over the last couple of years in our scrummaging in the lineouts, and this Friday we're going to test it out. And
So the onus lies on the likes of these two players to bring their A game on Saturday. And maybe the weather change is a sign that anything can happen on any given day. Interesting, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan paid a visit to the team at training today. Ryan, who is in London for personal reasons and also to do some work for Sevens, took some time out to make it to the London Irish grounds. He says his visit is to provide support to the national coaches and players as they build up to face his home nation. Meanwhile, Flying Fijians head coach John McKee was also joined by his family in London today. Now remember, you can catch the entire Rugby World Cup live right here on FBC TV. The Suva football side has been drawn in a tough pool in next month's Courts Inter-District Championships. The defending champions are grouped with league winners Nandi, Lautoka and newcomers Nriketi in Pool A. Fiji Football Association President Rajesh Patel says tough competition can be expected this year. Fiji's biggest football tournament also received a check of $120,000 from major sponsors' Courts.
The stories about IDC still lingers in a lot of people's mind. Today's stars will take the center stage this time around in Ports IDC 2015.
The first round of matches will be played on the 3rd and 4th of October, while competition proper begins on the 7th of October at Gavin Park. Netball and volleyball got underway today in the ANZ Sakuna Bowl Challenge. Army were forced to be reckoned with on the volleyball court, while police, with the services of national reps Alesi Wanga and Episaki Kahatoka, claimed the netball title. The much-anticipated rugby clash between the two disciplined forces will kick off at 4 p.m. tomorrow at the ANZ Stadium. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Fiji Business Forum hopes that the 2016 budget will see simplification of certain tax laws and policies. The forum's chairman, Alvin Maharaj, says the business community wants simplicity in the way business is conducted. Ali Kimbia has more.
The red tape associated with doing business in Fiji is well documented, and the Fiji Business Forum is hoping changes will be introduced in the 2016 budget to simplify the way business is carried out here.
We would like to see simplification of certain tax reforms and tax policies, simplification in doing business generally in Fiji, whether it's the ports, whether it's the customs, whether it's business licenses, dealing with councils and so forth, local government authority. So we need to see some form of simplicity that will make our cost of doing business lower, and it will benefit everybody.
Small business operators are being targeted to grow the economy, and the Fiji Business Forum hopes the 2016 budget will address this sector.
If things are made simpler, then there's bound to be more investment from micro, small businesses, and it's easier for them to understand as well, those people who are new to doing business. And we need to focus a lot on SMEs, small to medium enterprises, as well as micro, to boost the economy in the rural areas and in small towns and so forth.
The Fiji Business Forum will present a submission to the Finance Ministry for consideration in the 2016 national budget. And the Finance Minister, Ayaz Said Kayum, will announce the 2016 national budget on Friday, November 6. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Mainly fine weather was experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure lies slow moving over Solomon Islands and extends southeastwards over Tuvalu and Niue. Meanwhile, a broad easterly wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Salvo managed to record a high of 26 degrees today. Lambasa and Ba hit 31. Forecast to midnight tomorrow for the Fiji group, cloudy periods with some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, mainly fine, cool at night, moderate to fresh southeast winds, rough seas. An outlook for Saturday is occasional showers over most places. The main points again. Fijian Elections Office celebrates a first anniversary of general election. Mobile communications company Digicel has bought Sky Pacific after months of negotiations, and public consultations have begun on the income tax bill. Our poll question for the week: can we beat England in the Rugby World Cup opener? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.